Hello, everybody. How are you doing? It's game day. There's a game on a Sunday. Go figure. That messed me up because I thought the game was going to be on Saturday, like it should be. But here we are. It's game night on Sunday, so we're going to do a pregame show with you guys. So it should be a lot of fun. As always, I don't do this by myself. Everybody say hi to everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed.
Peter Brown. Here we are on a Sunday, our usual schedule, and the great thing is that we didn't have to do anything because the pre-show, it's a pre-show, and will Inter Miami win tonight?
But could they, 10 p.m., man? The game is so late, Ed. So late.
But Peter, do you work tomorrow?
No.
Okay.
But I'm old.
Yeah, but I'm old too, but I'm okay with it.
Staying up till like midnight? I don't do that very often anymore.
You're going to have to tonight.
I know. I'm going to have to pump myself up with some caffeine or some other kind of beverages and get pumped up and I'm ready. Got my Champs shirt,
Nice.
I'm ready to, because you sent me the title and you said we're playing the Champs. I was like, oh, we are the Champs.
We are champs. Well, no, they are the latest MLS champions.
Oh, I got it wrong.
Champion versus champion.
Champs. We're the champs.
Leagues Cup champs against the MLS champs tonight.
I took champs and I was like, oh, let me go get my shirt that says champs.
It does. It's a
we're
good
champs.
one. But yes, this is probably going to be one of our tougher, games. It's on the West Coast. Time difference.
Oh yeah.
I think the farthest way that Messi has gone so far. It's going to be a challenge. These guys, I don't know how their schedule has been lately. They've been up and down lately, but they're still, I think, in second place in the Western Conference.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still the champs. I'm sure they're doing their homework. They got a great team. It's going to be, I don't know if Carlos Vela is playing, but it's going to be Messi against Vela. It's going to be a good matchup.
Yeah, and we'll get to all that in just a few minutes. But before we go too deep on those subjects, let's say a big thank you to our sponsors. And let's start with Caneswear. Caneswear is where you can get that cool bucket hat and all your Messi shirts, all you want in Davie, Florida. They're selling a lot of Inter Miami stuff. So make sure you go in there and you say Futbol Miami TV, save yourself a little bit of money, give you 10% off. And if it's too far for you to drive, go to caneswear.com. All orders over $99 ship for free. So spend some money, and $99 is easy to spend that when you're buying, a couple shirts and a jacket or a hat and all that kind of stuff. So make sure to share some love to Caneswear. And
Peter Brown, if you want to buy or sell a property in South Florida or Atlanta, for that matter, in Georgia, the best person to buy is Mia Rodrigues. She's the GOAT realtor, the greatest of all time. She will sell you anything you want. You can even WhatsApp her. She speaks Portuguese, English, and Spanish. Go ahead and give her send her. You can also go to the website, miarodriguesrealtor.com, and connect with her real quick and, invest in South Florida. Invest in Florida, invest in Georgia. Do it, guys.
All right. So let's say hi to some folks in the chat. That's my job today. So We'll start off with the first person I see in the chat is Kata. So welcome, Kata. Says there's going to be some tango in LA tonight. Santiago Santi is in here as well. Some black, pink and black hearts. Damian Guzman hoping for a W. One world, one goal, as always, is here. Sports Shorts. Best night of the week. Thank you, Sports Shorts.
Got the shorts.
Jose Velasquez. Welcome. M. Moore wants to see Facundo Farias, Messi, and Campana playing together. Well, we're going to talk about the lineup in a little bit. Jet Pancake, good evening.
There's a pancake dude.
And El Hibaro FC, if I'm saying that
Yeah.
right, saying we can win this match. Eduardo Celis, I'm sure I'm saying names wrong. Don't give me a hard time. And Carlos Beltran as well. Feel all the stars will be at the game tonight. Yeah, that's something to think about. We get a lot of famous people at the games here locally, but you know, we're not going to hold a candle to what LA can bring, right?
They got everybody and their mama's going to be there. I think it's the place to be.
And how many of those stars are there that will cheer for LAFC because maybe they live in LA, and how many of them will cheer for Messi just because, well, it's Messi?
I think there'll be a lot of pink shirts out there today.
I think there might. I think that there might as well. Guyver is showing up as well. So
Guyver, what's up?
Yeah, so you would imagine all the boxes, all the luxury boxes are filled up like crazy. Oh, and speaking of luxury, if you didn't check out our last game day vlog, go check that out. It is all about this, the VIP, right, Ed? The VIP.
Yeah. We VIP'd it.
You want to know what it's like to be a VIP at Drive Pink? Go watch that video, and you'll see what they have to offer for VIP.
I ate a lot, Peter. I drank a lot.
Same here.
You were driving. It was a good time. I think the winners of the VIP tickets that we had, they had a great time as well. They were from Costa Rica. They flew in just to see that game.
And they were pumped. They were so excited. They had a great time sitting front row. We gave them the seats. We sat right behind them. And also, a shout out to worldsoccertalk.com. If you guys aren't checking out their website, you should. They get a lot of shout outs all over, like ESPN and everything. I mean, they're going big time now. And, they've been spotlighting our videos from time to time. And they did that on this one as well. So, and the gaffer is watches our shows, and he pops in every once in a while as well. So
he's known forever well. So you guys need to check out World Soccer Talk. They are really cool. And I'm going to tweet out, and on social media, I'm going to give them a shout out too. So you guys can check them out if you haven't already. So
I was just thinking as you were talking, Ed, I was just a thought popped up in my mind. What?
Oh, wow.
What, a thought? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was going to say.
How weird. Wow. How weird. Yeah. What are curious in what the ticket prices might be going for right now for the game tonight. The last time I checked earlier today, and they were for the Inter Miami game at LAFC Stadium. The cheapest seat right now is $600.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's as we talk about constantly about the Messi effect, that it makes you wonder, like, what is the effect in every stadium? And, maybe the thought popped into my head because we're talking about the stars showing up at BMO Field or whatever it's called. Yeah, I think it's BMO Stadium. And
BMO.
Huh? And
BMO. You said emo.
BMO. BMO. Emo is what you like, Ed. Depressing kind of
music.
Yeah. One world, one goal. You guys are looking very good on my big screen smart TV via my laptop hookup for game later. There you go. On your smart screen, you could just straight up watch YouTube. You can't. Well, that it's harder to chat though. But so maybe this is a better way so you could chat. But like I watch all my YouTube videos on my TV. But yeah, so cheapest seat, $234. That's right here. In the behind the goal in the corner a little bit, $600 for tonight.
Wow.
How about this, Ed? Supporter section, $750.
Because that experience there, I mean, while I've been there, and that supporter section is popping, dude. So,
everything is more expensive in LA, so it makes sense. But we're complaining now, of course, because about the ticket prices here when we were going to like the League's Cup games, but we never saw that kind of price. Luckily,
wow.
That it was. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what kind of crowd. Kata is sitting here saying, I think it will be more hostile than New York. I think he's right. New York doesn't have a ton of fans these days. New York Red Bulls need to do some sort of reset. I don't know if it's a rebrand per se, but they need to reset somehow, rekindle some interest in that team. LAFC does not have that problem. They are the reset. LAFC is the Chivas reset. And they did it right this time. So they've got some solid fans. I think it will be a hostile environment, just like Kata said.
Oh, well, there's a possibility El Chivo Mayor, who we've had on the show many times before, he might pop in for a little bit, give us a little, shout out, and probably criticize us because he doesn't want to lose.
Sure.
But we've got videos in the past where he talked about the whole Chivas USA experience.
Yeah.
All that went down, and how basically all the Chivas USA fans became LAFC fans, and what's happened now is a lot different than it was back then, and they've done the things right this time, so that's good for them. But hopefully tonight they go down, Peter Brown.
Yeah, and look, they lost in their last game against Charlotte. I looked at that earlier today. I think it was a 2-0 loss, something like that. But they lost their last game in Charlotte, and the game before that, I forgot who they played, but they won like 4-0. So they're kind of up and down. I don't know if it was 2-1 or 2-0 Charlotte. I'd have to look it up again. But they're kind of up and down right now. But there's when you think about when you think about them, Ed, I mean, there's definitely some players we should probably be a little bit concerned about.
Right, and they've got some really good players. Oh, that's our old keeper.
For example, our old keeper, John McCarthy, who we kind of booted, right? And then made a name for himself last year in that LAFC MLS Cup Championship game. If I remember correctly, he came in, like in the game, like somebody, I think their starting keeper might have gotten hurt in that game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
And
he was a hero in the penalties.
He was. And so, but this time now he's the man under the 3 poles. He's the dude. He's the guy.
I don't understand this. Mighty Justin says, we never used our old keeper, LOL. I don't know what you mean by that. We used McCarthy. McCarthy played quite a handful of games for Inter Miami. I think if I remember correctly, he might have getting starting time when Robles got hurt. I think is kind of how he ended up in there. Right. He got quite a few playing time. El Hibaro FC says calendar, no more words.
Yes.
So yeah, I would take calendar over McCarthy
for sure. Calendar's done what he's done. He's been one of the reasons why we've been able to stick around in all those games. Messi's wonderful and all, but we sometimes forget how wonderful Calendar has been for us.
Yeah,
Saves that he's done. We could have had way more ties, Peter.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah. I'll take Calendar over McCarthy any day. But McCarthy is thriving in LAFC right now. Another player that they've got is one of their DPs, Dennis Bouanga, if I'm saying that correctly. Yeah. This is a dangerous guy. I've watched him a little bit. I don't know if you've watched him a little bit, Ed, but he's definitely dangerous there. Something that needs to be watched.
That guy's a number 9, man, if I ever saw one, and he is really good, man. If he was playing with Messi, he would be scoring every single game, I think. But, guy's really good. Is he French?
Yeah, he's French. It says there, France. Le Mans, France.
Le Mans, France.
Yeah. Hey, let's take a break real quick from that, and let's go to a super chat. Look, this is one thing we don't really advertise the super chats, but you want to guarantee your question gets answered. Super chats are there. I'm not saying you have to super chat us, but we definitely will it'll put you to the top. So we appreciate
it. Anything that we get for the channel, it goes to our equipment. It goes to, whatever we do for videos and stuff. So we really appreciate it, guys.
So thank you to Carlos Beltran for your $2 super chat. Would another tie hurt our playoff chances? What do you think, Ed?
We need to add 3 points. That's the thing. That's the need to focus on. 1 point helps, but we need 3 points as often as possible.
So the magic number I kept hearing was we needed to win like 8 or 9 out of the 12 games. And now we've already played 2. So I haven't counted. I assume there's 10 more. I haven't counted. But that's what I kept hearing, is that somebody else who had done the math. But so, yeah, it hurts, especially when you think about how many players got called up for international duty. And Ed and I were talking before the game, before we started here, about how many games we will miss Messi, because Messi's getting called up. And so, looking at the schedule, we kind of figured, I think, Ed, you said there's a game on the 7th.
Ecuador, yeah.
So we would definitely miss Messi for the Kansas City game. And I think you said there was another game on the 12th for Argentina.
Against Bolivia. In Bolivia. That's going to be tough for Messi if, I'm sure he'll play.
Yeah, so he definitely has enough time to get back, because our next game is the 16th against Atlanta. But, how much time does he play? Does he have tired legs? He's traveling long distances, all that kind of stuff. So we're missing him for 1 game, potentially 2 games. Plus, we've missed so many of our players have gotten the
call-ups.
The call-up. And I think I don't know what days of the week all those countries are playing, but it's probably around that time, when the Kansas City game. So I don't know who we're putting on the field for the Kansas City game, for example.
Well, the good thing I was telling Peter about is that Campana and Arroyo were not called up to the Ecuadorian national team, which happens to be the first game that plays against Argentina. That's good for us, bad for Ecuador, dumb for Ecuador. But good for us, because at least we know, Joseph Martinez is going to be out. He's probably going to be in Venezuela, playing for Venezuela. And we'll definitely have 2 of our potential starters, I guess you could say. And we've got our, the forward that I think should be starting today. Yeah. Let's go back to that. And I mean, obviously, the last player, real quick, before we go to our lineup, last player we really need to be worried about, obviously, is Vela, right? He's always dangerous. He's likely to score a goal. I think I saw in here, Sports Shorts is saying, sadly, my prediction is 1-0 LAFC winning. Oh, Sports.
Yeah. So let's hope he's wrong.
Any way you can him out, Peter? For that?
Yeah. I mean, I can, but I won't.
Just kidding, Sports Shorts. Yeah. But no, everybody's got their opinion. I hope you're wrong, because we need all the points that we can get. But it is going to be a tough game, Peter Brown.
For sure. And here is the starting lineup for the last game, just to get kind of as a base. I didn't have time to do any Photoshop work, but I imagine the back line looks pretty similar to this. Potentially playing 3 in the back or 4 in the back. I think this is not the last game. This is the game against Nashville. The one I found real quick. But I still think this makes sense. I think the game after one of the other games recently that they played 3 in the back, but then Yedlin and Alba potentially could transform into a 5 back, but they spend all their time up top. So, right. They're definitely not playing as defenders. But this lineup, to me, the back seems to make sense to me, with Arroyo and Busquets in the middle. you and I both agreed that we should switch out Gomez here and put in Cremaschi. Why do you think Cremaschi is the better choice over Gomez?
Every time he's been playing, he's just been on top of everything. When he came in the second half against Nashville, he was so much better. Gomez, he just, there's something, he's just not ready. Something, I think Tata's just pushing him like he pushes Martinez. They're just not working, man. They're just not working. They're not, there's something wrong there. Gomez, I think, has potential. Give him a little more time coming off the bench before you throw him in there as a starter. I don't think he was ever ready. Plus he it's like he goes in like a chicken without a head, man, and he's giving the ball away, and he got a yellow card for no reason last game. And another one, Martinez is another one. He's just not doing anything. He's a waste of a player that hasn't been doing anything for the last few games.
Eric Thomas is saying Gomez has good pace but lacks chemistry, and that's where Cremaschi makes up for in chemistry area. As far as Martinez, that was the other change you and I would agreed on. We should put in Campana over Martinez, but I don't know if Tata will do that because he has 100% been favoring Joseph Martinez.
Why? I don't know, because that's a player that's probably at the end of the season going to be out.
Right.
What's the point of having him? The guy that you could sell
time in him.
Yeah, the guy that you could sell at any time, and and you should make shine is Campana. And he's a number 9.
There is no way we're bringing back Joseph Martinez next year. He is currently making $4 million, and Atlanta's paying for the majority of that. I don't know the exact percentage, but they're paying for the majority of that. We got a definite deal on Joseph Martinez. They're not paying him unless he decides to re-sign with Miami for just below TAM, right? TAM level or below. He's going to make $1 million at least probably, but that's the only way. If he's willing to take a massive pay cut, then.
Yeah, but what I've seen of him lately, Peter, I just doesn't convince me, man. I mean, he has. There's been a couple of games where he's done pretty decent. He's scored a couple goals, but I just think that one game when Campana was in there, they did something different. He just brought so many more opportunities for a goal. Plus, we don't have any aerial attack. He's the guy to use, and that's something we don't use very often. And Messi has been able to find him. He's not hard to find. He plays something similar to what Suarez would play if Suarez were here, and that Messi is used to. This is the ideal guy that we should go with. Martinez hasn't been working, and I'm not just because I'm Ecuadorian. Of course, I want the Ecuadorian to shine, but I just think it's I think it's the better option.
El Hibaro is saying Cremaschi is a player that can play first touch. That's a difference from Gomez, and that's why he clicks with Messi. Yeah, think about that goal that recently, that goal that Messi made, and Cremaschi, first touch assist, just passed it right back to Messi and made an easy tap in for Messi. So yeah.
And,
Facundo's also saying his thoughts. Wait for Facundo.
That's another one. We could also use Facundo.
Right?
Yeah, Facundo could play in that position, or he could play for Taylor if Taylor is too tired. But we have faith in Taylor, so
I'm on board with Farias at half or 70th minute. When Taylor looks tired, pull out Taylor, put in Farias, see what he could do. Because he's young, he definitely seems like he's got promise, and so he could. I think that's what I would do.
Right. What have you been thinking about the back line? Aviles, what'd you think? What's been your thoughts about him?
I'm okay with him. He's tall. He hasn't made any boneheaded mistakes yet that I can think of. as far as like, being a youth defender, sometimes that can happen. And he's definitely going to be faster than Kristoff and Miller. And Miller, so if, and Miller, I'm not taking out. I mean, he had a great game last game.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking Miller out. Yeah, I'm okay with Aviles.
So what'll probably happen there, Jordi Alba, he's been coming back defending. He's been going up and attacking as well. I liked him against Nashville. He was probably, if not the hardest worker, one of the hardest workers. Yedlin on the right too. He does the same thing. But that really leaves us with two defenders. What usually happens is Arroyo pulls back as the third defender. I don't know if you've noticed.
He does, yeah.
Getz has also been kind of back there. What I didn't like was that Messi was going very far back. He was leaving Martinez up top, and Martinez wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, and that's for this game for sure. Messi needs to come back to his old form, and really, he seemed off last game, tired maybe. I don't know, but that's the thing too. The whole deal about traveling. This is the first time Messi's had to go across the country, and these players always talk about how the travel is very, very difficult in MLS compared to what they're used to over in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So how does he, how well does he do with that, large travel? So far he's traveled to New York and where? DC? Didn't he go to
Nashville.
DC?
He's going to Nashville. I think they did. I think it was DC that we played in.
I'm trying to remember which games he played in on the road because he played a lot at home. I'm trying to think of which ones he.
Yeah, we got. And he was
but they've all been fairly East Coast for the most part.
Exactly. So but that's why I said today this is the farthest he's gone. Those are 4 or 5 hours, between 4 and 5 hours to get to LA. That's a whole different monster. The good thing is that they went early. So they've been practicing over there, and that's what they needed to do. They need the results.
M. Moore is saying Farias is better than Taylor. I don't know about yet. I don't know.
Yeah. But does he have the potential? I mean, we haven't seen him that much, Peter. That's
right. That's why I say I don't know.
So yeah, we just like what Taylor's been able to do with Messi. And the way that they've been able to play has been wonderful, but maybe Farias has it. Maybe he needs more time. I don't know. But for now, I'd stick with Taylor.
I'd stick with him until you feel like he's just not providing what you need, and then you could put in Farias and see what he can do. I would do that. What else you got, Ed?
Well, Peter, just as far as the team, I think we have a good opportunity to hopefully make things happen for us. One thing I wanted to bring up again was with Nashville, Messi was playing too far back.
Yeah,
I didn't like that. He needs to be playing his normal position. Hopefully, somehow we get to Tata. If he's watching, I doubt he's going to be watching us. And probably won't even understand us. But that's why he's got the Spanish show he can listen to, which we do a Spanish show, which is actually going to be on time tomorrow at 9 p.m. If you guys hablan español, good segue, huh?
Yeah.
Mañana, 9 p.m. in español, we'll be talking about the results of the game in español. And, maybe Peter will want to do an English show in between. But another thing I wanted to talk about, Peter, is that construction has been going on.
That's what we hear. So we'll check it out. Look for a construction video this week.
So listen to that. But going back to the game, Peter.
Going back to the game. Yeah, Big Vinny here. Big Vinny here says, what do you think of Nashville low box defense sitting in the box stopping Messi? Do you think more teams will sacrifice offense for this cheap defensive stance? Will they park the bus? I think some teams definitely will. I don't know if LAFC will, though. I think they've come across as a little more attacking. What do you think?
oh, yo, no, big Vinny, that's
Hey,
what
yo, Vinny.
I get the, yo, Vinny. I think you're right, man. There might be some teams that might go that way because obviously it worked. It
Well, think
worked
about
for.
it. If the team doesn't need the win and they want to just play for a tie, because most teams figure win at home, tie on the road, and you're going to easily make the playoffs. So if they're already kind of above that line in the playoffs and just feel like, hey, as long as we get a tie, we're in good shape. Why not park the bus?
Yeah. So that's a possibility. There's some teams that are really good at the counterattack that might be able to take advantage of that. LAFC could be one of those teams.
And that's what Kata is saying right here. We have to watch counters. That's LAFC's specialty with Vela and Bouanga. Exactly.
That's what I'm worried about.
And we have been very susceptible to counters for sure.
Yeah,
but that's one reason why I like Aviles in the back is just I think he might offer more speed than Christoph.
Yeah, and Miller's not that fast either. But Miller, I don't know, he's getting back into form or something. Because he's a. I don't know if he was called up for Canada. By the way, he's
I'm not sure, but I do know the Canada head coach stepped down and took the job in Toronto.
Oh, wow.
Toronto FC.
I don't know. Hopefully they won't call him up because I think we need him. He's just starting to get in form. In last game, he was on fire. He took the ball all the way up. I think he could have probably kept on going, but he didn't know what to do with the ball. Peter Brown told me that during the game. He was like, oh, he didn't know what to do with the ball. He doesn't know what to do with the ball. So he passed back. And, the play didn't, but I think if he would have a little more faith in himself.
It reminded me, I was never a great soccer player, but I did play defense. And I played not in like a high level club. I played in Optimist. Optimist level is kind of like you pay, you play. But regardless, that's where I learned to love the game. And I remember the few times as a defender that I would find myself up in the attack and I was like lost. Like I'm not used to being up here. This is not where I play. And not knowing exactly what to do. Now, of course, I was like 12, but not a professional footballer. But yeah, that's what it brought me back those memories. Eric Thomas is saying he does not think he's been called up yet.
Well, good for us if that's the case because
because we need a break. No more call-ups, folks.
Yeah, stop, guys. Because too many players. There's a lot more players that could have gone that hopefully won't go to their national teams. Otherwise, we're going to be playing with like 12 players, I think. That's the quality of players that we do have, Peter Brown. That's what I like about this team.
Yeah, and that Kansas game will be a game that will be a game where we see what Tata can do. Like, how good of a coach is he? Can he make something, because we used to always criticize Neville, but Neville didn't have the horses that Tata has. Neville never had, the level of players that Tata was given right when he came in. And Neville had to, play a lot of young players. Well, Tata's going to have to do the same thing. Now, I know Tata's a better coach and all that, but I just use that as an example.
A lot of the injuries that they're starting to come back now happened also, during the Neville period. So he just, he didn't have anybody to pick from. He had to call players up from Inter Miami too.
Right. Yeah, and speaking of injuries, El Hilbaro is asking about any news, any info on Ian Frey. Frey's out for a long time. Like One World, One Goal is saying, Frey would need 10 months from now, 8 maybe. Yeah, he's done for the season.
Yeah, he's unfortunately because he was playing really well. Young guy, just so unfortunate that he's been hurt so much. But
yeah,
it is what it is. Yeah, he probably won't be back for the rest of the season. And he played a position that we needed. We need people in the back.
He was starting to play really, really well. I like what Chet Pancake says. Made me laugh. Might as well send Inter Miami 2 to play against Kansas City. And look, Kansas City are not doing so great. So our two team for the most part might do okay. Kansas City is down here in 11th place below the line. As of today, they are not making the playoffs. Of course, they're not that far from on their points. What their points are right there. So they're only 2 points behind Dallas. So they definitely can make it. But I heard rumors of them potentially, thinking about, firing the coach, and their coach has been with them for forever. He was a player, all that kind of stuff. So, they're definitely beatable, and we may have to send in pretty much our 2 team.
Right. Well, I think I'm kind of glad that we do have a team that's kind of in trouble right now for that game, because we're going to be missing a lot of our starters. Well, the good thing, Busquets and Sergio Alba haven't been called up either, so we're going to keep those guys, and I think they're an integral part of what we could do against Kansas City. Plus, like I said, I already mentioned Arroyo and Campana are still going to be there, so we've got a pretty decent team, Peter.
Yeah.
Rodrigues is also going to be available. Who else? Gomez is going to be out. Who else do we have? We have a decent amount of players, I think, that we could maybe push out a win.
Maybe. Eric Thomas mentioning that Kansas City won last night, though. Yeah, I mean, everybody wins. I mean, can we win tonight? That's the question. I think so.
Yeah.
But it will be a tough game. It will be a tough game. If we get going back to that one question about if we tie, are we basically out of the playoffs? Eric was also commenting that there's some other teams ahead of us that are not doing so well. So that helps. Winning, obviously, is the easier route, because then you make it based off of your results. You win. But if we start tying some of these games, like some of these road games, then we're going to need some help from DC and Chicago and Charlotte and stuff like that. Those teams that are not doing great but are still ahead of us. So we would need some help from them, which we've done that in the past. I remember there was that one year, a couple of years ago, I think it was, where we tied. I think it was we tied or we lost, but we still made the playoffs because Cincinnati, I think, maybe lost. I'm trying to remember the exact, but we were at the game and they lost, but then they started cheering because they just got word that they had still made the playoffs.
Right. Well, let's see what develops with that, Peter Brown. I'm crossing my fingers. When is the Open Cup game?
September 29th, I think it is, something like that. We got a viewer here from Papua New Guinea.
Yeah. Thanks for following us, for listening and watching our ugly mugs. Hope you like our other videos as well. We are always, trying to interact with everybody from everywhere.
And Yance is commenting that Alba and Busquets already retired from their national team. So you were talking about them not getting called up. Yeah,
good.
They're not getting called up. Let's go to a voicemail. I got one voicemail, and if you want to leave us voicemails, the number will pop up in just a second. It's time for your voicemail.
Hello.
Hey, Peter and Uncle Ed. It's Italia, One World, One Goal. All the great fans. I just want to give a shout out to all the new people that have tuned in from all over the world that we can't quite always pronounce your name because, like Peter and I, always butcher everybody's names. But we love you and glad you guys are enjoying the show. I noticed that Peter and Ed, the OGs, are the trendsetters. Like, they did construction videos, and now we have my favorite Glenna Milberg, who's on Channel 10, along with Will Manso, who does sports for years. They're over there doing construction videos now, and our guys were there first on the scene, and other people are starting to do game videos. So once again, our OG guys are still setting the precedent. But truth be told, I am watching NASCAR. I have it on above the screen of you guys. And PBS has like some really good stuff on, and Peter wonders why I have to switch over. But I got you on the big screen. You guys look gorgeous. Love you. Love the show. Bye.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. We do a lot of things first, and then other people see it and do it. Now, I don't think the news is copying us per se, but the difference with us as far as the construction videos is that we're consistent. So when we were doing the construction videos for Drive Pink, I was there every single week, and we should expect something similar here for this stadium as it gets further along. So in the very beginning, we'll probably do it more like once a month. But then once we start seeing more activity picking up, you should expect them once a week. Channel 10's not doing a report on it once a week, probably.
Yeah. So, if you guys want to check out our old videos, we
got a bunch.
Old Lockhart, now Drive Pink Stadium. I mean, since they tore the thing down, we've been doing videos.
There's a playlist for those of you that are new. There's a playlist on our YouTube channel. Scroll down and look for the playlist called Construction Updates. And there's I don't know how many there are, 30, 40 videos. I don't know how many, but there's a handful, a lot of videos there. And you can actually, watch the progress of Drive Pink going from, the old stadium to dirt to the new stadium and so many steps in between, from the pipes. And, people sometimes give me a hard time because I'll still call it Lockhart. And I always argue there is still a little bit of Lockhart in that stadium because I have video proof that the pipes that are underneath that stadium say Lockhart. And you can see it on those videos. So, go search those out. And we'll expect something similar here for Miami Freedom Park. Comment here from Messi 10. How can I watch live? I'm assuming you're talking about tonight's game. Apple TV. Go watch on Apple TV. Apple TV is international. So if you're in Argentina, you can probably watch it.
Yeah, unfortunately, hard to get bootlegs. I'm sure if you're out of the United States, it'll be a lot easier, but I wouldn't know where to watch them. Here, we got to go by the and watch, on Apple TV. And
don't be cheap. Pay for it.
Yeah. You can do it. Well, I in South America, for example, you can, if you get their cable, Apple TV comes with it. So it's part of the deal sometimes. So, go for it.
And look, Apple TV right now, some of their games, some of the MLS games are free to watch. I don't know which ones are free to watch because I pay for Apple TV Plus, which you don't have to do, but I do just because I like the content and I'm an Apple nut. But the MLS season pass, they do show some free games from time to time. But right now, I did see that the price has gone down to something like $29 for the remainder of the season. So because there's less season to watch, the price has gone down. So now's a good time if you didn't get it yet to watch the rest of the season, and you get every MLS game.
And you might even get playoffs if Inter Miami makes the playoffs. Yeah. If we make the playoffs, I think we have a chance, Peter Brown. The thing is to make the playoffs.
Yeah, sure. We've already shown that you put us in a tournament, which is what the playoffs are, and we can win it.
Yeah, and we might just get another one. We can win it. We just might get another one, too. It's going to be at our stadium, so we might get at least two out of three trophies this year.
Yeah, that Open Cup. Yeah, for sure. DeWitt 43 says MLS has hurt their league not having an international break. This has been forever, though. This is nothing new, them not adhering to international breaks. They do once in a while. Quite often, they don't. And in this case, to some extent, it's understandable because they want to squeeze in. They wanted to take a break for Leagues Cup. Now, we can have a whole nother show about whether or not that's a good idea or if they should play them on Wednesday nights, just like you would say the Champions League in Europe. But that's not what they did. They took a break, and so they're not going to want to take another week break or a week or 2 weeks break, 1 or 2 weeks. So that, it's been a long history of them not taking these breaks, and it can be frustrating for sure.
Yeah. what we got.
Anybody else wants to leave a voicemail? 786-474-4435.
The messiest talk on earth, ladies and gents.
I mentioned that because I see that Nemo 90542 put a little phone icon. So yeah, you want to leave a voicemail? Go for it, Nemo.
Do it, guys. We've had international calls as well, Peter. So
we have.
It is doable. You guys could call in from outside of the country. So,
Tank commenting on my shirt saying he likes the shirt. And there's a rumor that next year's home kit will be that shade of pink. Looks like a nice sunset pink to me. I would like them to stick with one shade of pink.
Yeah.
Just stick with it. I like the shade of pink that the current technically away jerseys that has become the everything jersey. The pink the pink shirt. What's that one called? What do they name that shirt?
Oh, that one wasn't it the oh gosh.
I forget. They give these all funny names and I forget them all. But
we've only played with the pink
since Messi's arrival, yeah.
Right. So there must be.
I would imagine they're wearing the pink tonight as well because LAFC's home jersey is black. So,
and we haven't lost since we worn the pink.
True that.
So why even change something that's worked out for us so far? I'm okay with the pink. And the thing is, I think we talked about it before the game against Nashville when we were VIP, Peter Brown. We were talking about what was it that the sponsor should. I think the contract is over, right?
So that's what I've heard, that XBTO is over this year. I'm not 100% sure, but that is a rumor that I heard. I was Googling before, like how long of a contract it was. But I never found the answer. I don't remember. But I've heard that it might be the final year. But an interesting note to that we saw walking into the stadium is the, I always forget what it's called. What do they call the XBTO corner? You know, that building. We got the...
Yeah.
What do they call that? I forgot. They got the midfield club and then that corner club, that 2-story corner club that people like to stand out on the kind of balcony type area and watch the game. That was XBTO corner, XBTO something, right? It's in the process of being rebranded to the Hard Rock Terrace. It's halfway done as the Hard Rock Terrace. And I said this on the show. I've said it to friends that as soon as they signed Messi, I knew that Hard Rock would somehow become a sponsor. It only makes sense because they're already in business with Messi. So I whether or not they would be a jersey sponsor or what, but it looks like they're at the very least a club sponsor, that corner club. I forget exactly what it's called. B King should know. I see B King's in here because he's over there a lot. Hey, he just mentioned something. This is interesting, Ed. B King says, "Did you see that the wall of season ticket holders has been painted over?"
I totally forgot to look for myself. I should be on. I should have been on.
I am so happy that there is a game day vlog that I kind of memorialized my name, and I found my name. I didn't find yours, Ed, but it took me a while to find mine. So.
I should have been on there, Peter Brown, and I always meant to do it, but I kept forgetting. I was like, I know I'm there somewhere.
Yeah,
because I got a season ticket thing that proves it.
Yeah, yeah. You're on there somewhere. Look, it took me almost 4 years to find mine.
Right.
It's a lot of names. But the interesting thing was somebody had stopped me in the stadium like the next game after that video came out and thanked me because they watched the video and they realized that that's what that was. And so they went and they looked for their name and then they took a picture of them pointing at their name. So they were able to kind of learn. So sometimes our videos are not just boneheaded, but they're actually educational. Eric is saying it's called the Northwest Club. That's right. Eric's been in the stadium like 3 times and he knows better than I do.
Of course he's going to know. An alcoholic. I mean, no, Eric, you're not.
That's because he's
going to come and hang out with us for the U.S. Open Cup final, so that's going to be fun.
He likes to He likes to party. That's the after party, you know. But no, I had not seen that. I wonder what they're going to do there. What they did do is they moved over. If I remember correctly, they had moved over the merchandise trailer or something, or was it bathrooms? I don't know. I think it was a merchandise. They moved it over, and it was somewhat overlapping that mural a little bit because they had added some food trucks in there, and so they kind of shifted things over. I noticed that one of the games. So Broward Heron is saying the contract is over this year, so he's agreeing, and he thinks Royal Caribbean is a sponsor next year. Now, nobody really knows, and unless you work for Royal Caribbean, Broward Heron, maybe you know. I mean, maybe you know something we don't. But until it's official, I mean, you got to take all this with a grain of salt. But Royal Caribbean would make sense. They're a big company. But the funny thing is that about that, you and I were talking about this. I think I know I was talking about this with my friend, our friend Julio as well. That Royal Caribbean. So when it was announced, it's so ironic that Royal Caribbean is a sponsor since they blocked the stadium.
Yeah.
Right.
There was a stadium proposal that was supposed to be right there on the water, right across from Bayside, basically. And, right across where the Hard Rock, where we did a video of, we were eating the Messi burger and chicken sandwich. It was going to be right there, and they opposed it. It's land that I think they are leasing at this stage, and I believe the contract is going to be up. And there was a proposal that the stadium would have been built there. That would have been an incredible stadium, the view and all that.
Yeah.
But they didn't let us.
It got shot down. But the interesting thing, so it was announced that Royal Caribbean is a sponsor of Inter Miami, which it took them a little while to announce it. They were sponsoring them during the League's Cup and everything. The players were wearing shirts that had the Royal Caribbean anchor on the back during the League's Cup. And they also sponsored the unveiling. So it was obvious that they were going to become a bigger sponsor. But then I also follow Royal Caribbean on Facebook. So I saw that they promoted the sponsorship deal as well. And the people that are on the Royal Caribbean Facebook group are not necessarily soccer fans or Inter Miami fans. They're cruise fans. And their basic response was, yes, so what? What does that mean for me? I don't care. Because what Royal Caribbean is getting accused of too many cutbacks. Since COVID, some things have been cut from their cruise ships. Now, I was on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship recently, and there may be some cutbacks, but I didn't notice. I had a great time. But those that are avid cruisers have said that things have been cut back and removed. And so they're kind of like, oh, you're acting like you don't have any money, but yet you're sponsoring this soccer team. We don't care.
Right.
They were getting some hate from their own avid cruisers about this deal. I thought that was funny.
That is interesting to hear, Peter. But they kind of have a point doing all those cutbacks, but they do have the money. Something you had mentioned, it's probably within their budget. They had a budget set out.
They got a marketing budget.
Right. And that was, they were able to make the agreements within that budget, so it worked out. And, but, it is what it is. Now they're buddies with us. And that's good.
Yeah. I was just Googling real quick, the sponsorship for Royal Caribbean, because if it did at all include the shirt sponsor, because I think I'm seeing Broward Heron says I saw it posted on the Inter Miami CF website. I don't know if he's referring to the same thing because chat kind of does its own thing sometimes. They're clearly a sponsor. Inter Miami and Royal Caribbean signed a multi-year sponsorship that makes Royal Caribbean the club's main partner and official vacation partner. Main partner does not necessarily mean shirt sponsor, but it could very well mean that.
They're probably lining up for it.
That's the entire article? Oh, you got to read more. You got to join to read more. I'm not paying for that. Anyways.
That's good enough.
It was from the sport business. I figured that would be a good resource, to find out more details. But
so that's good enough.
We'll see. Here's Broward Heron saying, I could have misunderstood. It could be a side sponsor, but I do remember seeing the announcement on the website that they were a new sponsor. Yeah, they are a new sponsor. We just don't know. One World, she thinks there'll be a sleeve sponsor. I don't know. Because when they do say main sponsor, that does lead you to believe that what Brower and Heron is saying could be right.
Yeah.
Because but I mean, it's all different dollars, right? So who knows?
Well, the team has, since Messi has shown up, there's so many more sponsors now. They probably have to turn people down because they just don't have enough space for it. And that's a good place to be, Peter Brown.
Better than, say, where they were. Because if I remember correctly, under the previous business management, which I forgot his name, but we knew him a little bit, they were struggling a little bit with sponsorships. They weren't getting what they thought they should get. They bring in this guy, Asensi, I think it is, from Barcelona, and all of a sudden, he's making some good deals, even before Messi, right? So you can't just say it's all Messi. But then you sign the most famous player, the best player in the world. Well, guess what? People start just going, money, 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 money.
Yeah. Gimme. Yeah. Come on over. They can turn people down. Oh, we don't want your business. Not exactly. At this time.
Exactly. Good morning from Bali here.
Wow.
Nice. Welcome. Big Vinny making a point here. Just in ticket sales for MLS alone, Messi has generated over $260 million so far in all games, future and past. Yeah, when you're charging, let's go back. So I'm curious. I'm gonna go and refresh. We can watch this, do this together. Let's refresh this. The cheapest ticket was $600.
It's gone up.
It's gone up.
So I guess they're selling, or what?
I guess, because here's the thing. That's the reason I assumed it would go down is that's what happens here in South Florida. As the game gets closer to, they still have a couple hours till game time, but as you get closer to game time, people start lowering their price because they would just rather get rid of it. Even if you sell it for $200, you probably only paid, if you're a season ticket holder, for example, you may have only paid $40 or $50 for it. So, but right here, supporter section, $796, $209, $800. And there are a lot of seats available, though.
Wow.
What is the best seat? Let's see, Ed. $3,400.
Wow. And where's that at?
I'm trying to figure out. Row 29, right here. Row 29. So that's close to it. That would be similar maybe to where we sat in VIP, kind of equivalent to that maybe. Row H, although we were like row 2. Right. Our winners were row 1. We were sitting right behind them. So, wow. Ticket prices are not going down in LA.
Wow. Well, that's hard to believe. I totally expected the prices to go down, but I think, the interest must still be there, and they want to capitalize on that. A lot of people are just waiting for the last moment. Hopefully the prices go down before they go in there. Our good friend Eric Thomas had told us he was waiting around for the match at Red Bull
in Jersey, Arena. And he went in. Yeah. I don't know if he wants us to say how much he paid. I'll leave that to him to say that in the chat. But
but he went in.
Julio's asking, how much were the VIP tickets? For us, they were free. So we have a good friend, Patrick, who is in the chat from time to time, and he invites us once in a while. He invites us to go sit with him if he has extra seats, and he'll just hang out. And so we get to go hang out with him sometimes and just enjoy those seats with him. But then this time, he's also a fan of the channel and just wanted to do something super nice and gave us all of his tickets. So that way we had a winner. So it cost us nada.
But we appreciate it. Thanks, Patrick. You're the best.
Eric's saying, as far as that game in New Jersey, we forced him to go. We might have put a little pressure. Might have said some things like, look, you call yourself an Inter Miami fan, you better go see them when they're in your town, calling out his fanship, maybe
Eric,
something like that.
Eric, it was worth it, man.
Yeah. Broward Heron, as far as those high prices, and we got to go. It's time. Most people getting the tickets are scalpers and rich people. More than likely, they can eat the cost, which is unfortunate. It just means that normal people can't get them. So I could. Yeah. Okay. Eric was willing to announce how much he paid. Eric in New York, in Jersey, paid $450, and he was bullied by me.
Peter Brown. Downtown Peter Brown always bullying people. But Eric Thomas, it was worth it, man. You got to see that incredible goal. Good seeing Julio.
Isaac, just before we check out here, Isaac McCoy, happy birthday. It's his birthday on the 4th of September, so maybe Inter Miami can get you a win for your birthday.
Yeah. Good old Isaac.
And it is not, so I don't know where you are in the world, but it is not the 4th yet. We are still the 3rd. So that's so crazy. Some people watch this and they're time traveled. They've time traveled. They're in the front. So happy birthday. Great. Big Vinny says happy birthday as well.
Predictions? Everybody start putting your predictions.
Let's wrap it up with a prediction, Ed.
My prediction, Peter Brown, 2-1. Inter Miami pulls the win. 2-1.
I'll go 3-2. 3-2. This time, the last game, I noticed I said this a lot in the game day vlog. Is Messi going to do some magic? I kept saying that. That was like, I don't know, stuck in my head to say Messi magic. So I think this game he will. I think, sometimes these stars, they step up for the big moments, right? And so that I'm sure he's been told LAFC is a big team in this league. They're a big club. So I think he steps it up, plays, and Vela and Boanga are stepping it up, right?
Everybody's going to be stepping up because this is going to be one incredible game, Peter Brown. This is one I'm really looking forward to. I'm originally from LA. When there wasn't a team. Well, I was always a Miami Fusion fan. Aztecs when I was a little kid. When the Fusion went away, I started watching the Galaxy because there was no other team to play. But LAFC they're just have been incredible since they started. So, but I'm a Miami guy now. I've been a Miami guy for most of my life now.
All right. And so One World, One Goal is saying she thinks it's 1-1 or 2-2. So she's calling for a tie. Eric Thomas, the big spender, is calling for a tie. Adam says 2-0. Miami is winning. Oh, Jet Pancake is saying LAFC wins 2-1. It's possible.
I hope you're wrong, Jet Pancake.
Yeah. And then Big Vinny says 1-1 tie. I think Kata's saying 2-1 Miami loss. Julio is saying 2-1 Miami.
There you go. I'm with you, Julio.
Tank says black and pink is greater than black and gold. I will tell you this. Tonight, one of the black teams will win. The team in black, somewhere on their shirt, going to win.
Peter.
Hey, before we go, there was one question for you. Broward Heron wanted to know before we go. He wanted your before you guys go, I have a question for Uncle Ed. What do you think of the list of call-ups for Ecuador for the World Cup qualifiers? So let's finish on that.
I got to tell you, I'm disappointed they didn't call up. I think Arroyo, there's just so many people playing his position. I understand why he wasn't called up. A lot of players are playing in Europe that occupy his space. So All right, he does play with Messi though, and he's been very consistent as defensively anyway. And Campana, I think, should have been called up for sure. I don't know what's the deal, why they didn't call him up. I think only three offensive players is incredibly lacking. I know we're gonna go play against Argentina, and maybe that's he wanted. The coach wanted more defensive players and midfield or whatever just to clog it up. But I guess it looks like Ecuador's gonna go and park the bus like Nashville did with Messi. So I'm not a fan of that, but this is a new coach they have. Ecuador's got a new coach, so I'm not a fan of him so far. Not calling Campana, I think, was a mistake. But what can we do? We're just fans. I'm just a fan.
Just a fan. One World, One Goal is saying we aren't in black. I mean, I assume we're wearing the pink shirt. I don't know. I haven't been on Twitter in the last hour.
There's some black there,
the team usually shows pictures of the jerseys hanging in the locker. So for the last hour, we've been doing this. I haven't seen anything on. But either way, both teams have black somewhere on their shirt. Even if we wear pink, there's still some black on the logo. There's some black. So the team wearing black will probably win.
Yeah, cheap way out, but it's all good.
I'm hoping not for a tie. Look, I'd rather a tie than a loss, but I'm hoping that we win. So, but anyways, let's go with that. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to tune in tomorrow, Ed. And what are we doing?
We're going to have the Spanish show tomorrow at 9 p.m. on the dot for once. We're not going to be using Latin time. It's the Inter Miami talk. We're going to be right here at the cafe right behind me, talking in Espanol, everything Inter Miami for everybody from Argentina, all the Latinos out there in Europe, and anybody that speaks Spanish. Tomorrow's a Spanish show. Hopefully it's a win we're going to be talking about. So,
all right.
Do it.
And then stay tuned later in the week for a construction video. There should be one up, I'm hoping, by Wednesday. So we will definitely be filming that tomorrow. So look for that. And that's it. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Go Inter Miami.
So we're going to get a win tonight, everybody. We're winning. All right. Thanks, everybody. See ya.